Oh shit, I forgot about
Welcome to RawSportsCast. My name is Scott Harrigan. And that little riff there is by none other than this guy right here, Jesse Roper. Jess, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I forgot that I did that.
Yeah, you did. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to hear it with drums now.
Yeah, no, yeah. I do you know what I want to hear? I want to hear it in a song, that would be so cool, right? That would be wicked.
It might end up there. Now I got re-inspired.
Well, listen, buddy, thanks for doing our little show here.
No problem.
Good stuff. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into this is what amazes me is that when I go to sporting events and they don't have music, it drives me mental.
Me too.
You know, right? And here's the other thing. I don't care what arena you go to, anywhere, that who's ever doing the DJ, it's the same songs you hear in a strip club. It's the same songs, man. It's the way it is, right? And
coming next to the stage, your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Exactly, right? Well, we're going to get into that, but you being a Leaf fan and that, you and I have that in common. But it's songs you don't hear on the radio, you haven't heard from years, and you have to go to a strip joint or a junior hockey game to hear it. Like the DJs are all the same. I think they're all clone, but it's awesome. Anyways, what's it like that when you're playing and you just feel that energy, man? Like, is it like, because I know when you're playing like in a stadium as an athlete, you don't really pick up on the crowd. You kind of do and you kind of don't. But what's it like for you when you're standing on stage and they're just focused on you, man? Like, what's that vibe?
Oh, it's either the scariest or the best, you know? I've had some moments where, like, I used to only have the best time. And then I kind of got deeper into the industry and realized, like, what is good and what am I lacking? And now you start picking yourself apart and you start getting
overthinking
from everybody else. Yeah, overthinking is the worst. And that happened to me for a while. And I ended up having a few shows where, like, things would be going good, and then I'd have a minor little fuck up, and then I'd be like, oh my God, no. I suck. And I'm like, no, don't think that. But then it would take me a while to get back into the right headspace. And I've since conquered that beast. And now I just but it took some effort, man.
Really,
like, Yeah, it like when it's all just getting going, it's just fun, and you're like, this is dope. And then you hit a roadblock, and you're like, well, why am I hitting a roadblock? And then you start analyzing.
Does it affect the writing?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's these guys that have one-hit wonders? Remember, like, Come On Eileen and all that. Are they living off those proceeds? Because they tend to, like you get like one or two songs, and all of a sudden you never work again or whatever. But it's not like, how do you keep that vibe going? Like, if you have a hit early, it almost seems like it'd be worse because now you have to go above that somehow.
Yeah.
What do you do for that?
I don't know. I just keep trying.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's all you got is like your effort level. Then after that, and then your ability to learn and like be like, I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna have fun. Like, there's nothing else you got, because it's not like hockey or some things you can really analyze and be like, this is what went wrong.
Right, yeah, you play it back on video somehow and go, oh, right, I should have had that guy.
Yeah, like you can listen to yourself play things back and be like, okay, I did this not as good here and that, and that's good for you to do, actually.
Yeah.
I've started doing that. I've started treating my rock and roll career more like sports in that, like, I try and keep myself in good shape so that my hands don't get stiff and I don't look old up there and, all this stuff. I just try to stay, like, on top of it. And listening to live recordings is really good because I like 95% of the time I get off the stage being like, that was the best I ever played. And then I'll listen to it back and be like, well, there's some shit I can clean up here.
Right, yeah.
But,
That's a good point that you mentioned, treating it as this is your like this is like, look at the Rolling Stones and Aerosmith and you see all those guys. How long have they been going, right? Like it's Mick Jagger and it's like, how old are these guys? But they keep pumping it. I know it's their world. We just live in it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But they keep pumping it out, man. So there's got to be some stamina, some like longevity that you have to do to be able at that level, right?
Yeah. I think first you have to love it. And
For
then
sure,
second,
passion.
you got to be really good at it.
Yeah.
And that's the magical two things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Do you consider yourself a better guitar player than performer, or a better perform? Like, if you say you have to work on stuff, is it your guitar playing? Is it or is it more of how you want to perform or come off?
It's everything.
Is okay.
I think like, and to like be at the peak,
Yeah.
where the peak humans are making their peak creativity.
Yeah.
You got to work on the whole thing, And so for me, like, oh, there it is. I've been trying to find because my vocals were I struggled with vocals. I never wanted to sing as a young guy. I was always a shy guy. And singing is just terrifying, or it was for me for years. And it just in the last year, I think I found my voice finally, and I'm like,
wow,
getting really comfortable with it now, to the point where I almost like singing better than playing guitar some days, because I'm just like, it's so freeing. You take these big lungfuls of air and then you let it out into something beautiful and cool. And now I'm just learning how to do accompany myself better, and I've got more tools, a wider range of tool to use.
But you would never know that. Like, it was like in the early days when you started breaking out and being recognized and the notoriety, it was like natural. That's what it looks like to us.
I was taking a lot of, building it to that point.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was scared shitless to get up on the stage, man.
Really?
Oh, big time. The only reason I even got up on stage for my first open mic is because my buddy broke into my truck. We were at the the pub in Langford there.
All good stories start with my buddy.
Yeah, the Water Wheel pub. I was 18 and I was drinking on I had my buddy's ID as my ID that night.
Yeah.
And it was my other friend's birthday, and he's like, Roper, you're getting on stage tonight. You're playing this open mic. And I was like, I don't know, Ryan. I don't think so. Any excuse. I was just full of it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't want to get sweaty and shaky in front of everybody. But yeah, he broke into my truck, and then he just signed me up and put my guitar on stage. And they're like, okay, so we got Jesse coming up here with his other guy, Jared. And that was it. And then that was my first time actually getting on stage.
So were you hooked at that point? Like, that wasn't so bad. I don't know what I was afraid of.
True. Yeah, and I couldn't deny it. I wanted to tell myself I was never doing that again, but it was so fun that I was like, okay.
You couldn't stop thinking about that.
Yeah, I got the buzz.
Yeah, right on. So when did you pick up guitar? So guitar came first, right?
Yeah, I was 6. And,
oh wow!
I used to watch my dad and my brother play fiddle tunes, banjo and guitar, sitting on the deck in the summertime, and I was always like, I can do that. I know I can do that, and little kid brain, and then finally, I guess I just asked my dad if I could try, and he's like, oh yeah, okay. So he sat me on his lap, and I don't know, I held the notes and he strummed them or something, or maybe the opposite.
Yeah.
And then I was in, and then I could just kind of I've taught people guitar. And definitely, I used to think everybody had an ear, and if you just follow your ear, you go for it, because that's how I do it. But I guess not everybody does. But that's how I've learned how to do everything that I've done. I've kind of just, my dad got me into lessons right away. I learned all the scales and did the Berkeley books and stuff like that. Yeah. And but I put minimal time into that and more time into just playing AC/DC back until I learned it. And
right.
And then that's what taught me how to play guitar.
But that's like anything, it's like you just have to do it.
That's it.
And then do it your way.
Absolutely.
Because there's ways of you can do you have to do certain things, but then after that, it's a fucking free for all. Now you have to find your niche, your way, and then get comfortable with that. That's in anything though, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm still trying to find my own, like, what is me? You know, like, you hear a lot of artists out there and people love to classify, like, oh, well, Nickelback, they're rock. AC/DC, they're rock and roll. Flamenco, name it.
Yeah.
And now there's millions of genres that they put you in.
Yeah. What do you describe yourself?
I don't know.
Me neither.
All of it. I want to play all.
Rockabilly.
Yeah. I made like a dance hall song the other day. And
Nice.
I mean, I think it's super strange and awesome. And
Wicked.
if people heard it, they might know it's me. They might not. And,
Isn't that what you want though?
well, it's art, right?
Yeah,
and if you don't keep on like extending outwards, isn't it boring? You know, if you only play
100%.
yeah, like I want to be everything. I want to make everything. I don't want to trap my mind in it. You know what? We're trapped by all kind of rules on the outside of our heads.
Right?
So on the inside of our heads,
You can be as free as you want.
fair game. And I just want to,
Yeah.
definitely. Actually, this whole COVID thing has helped me do that because it
I
shut
wanted
off.
to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it shut off all the outside noise.
Okay.
And I went from like really being like trying not to be so focused on what everybody else was saying about my career, management, fans, all that kind of stuff, and then having no choice but to just think about what I liked doing and how I was going to do it. And it was like, oh, it was so nice because now I'm a teenager again. Now I just have like an open canvas. Forget the business. The business isn't happening right now. I don't have to think about like, well, is this catchy? Is that good? I don't know because it seeps in there.
You know, this is like, I just said this the other day. If I would have known, and I sound like an old man, and I am an old man, right? But now,
happens to all of us, right?
I'm like, if I only knew what I know now when I was 20,
Yeah. Oh, totally.
like it would, you know, my life would be a lot easier. So like this whole,
So true.
I know, right? This whole shutdown thing, that it could have went either way. You could have went like, oh no,
Yeah.
or gives you more time to read the comments. But you know, and the thing is that I find people that are artistic like ourselves, if once you put yourself out there, you're open game apparently,
Yeah.
right? And you really have to learn the thick skin portion of it.
Yeah.
And that in itself can be a battle.
Yeah.
Right?
Big time.
Because now you're questioning all blah, blah. I have a hard time when I do these shows, Jesse, honest to God, man, listening back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's because I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it's no.
Did I just say that?
Well, I don't care what I say as much as, like, I just fucking don't sound right. I fucking sound fat on the radio. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck's sakes. So, but I don't think people, it's got to be, you got to do what you want to do. Like, you get stuck in a rut, or you work for the same company for 100 years, or you've done this, or you've done that. And there's always that itch you got to scratch. And I bet you most people don't do it.
No, I think the older you get, you start telling yourself more reasons why you shouldn't do it, or you don't got.
Yeah, or you can't, or now you got this or that. But so when you're sitting at home, do you have a go-to? Like, is it more of a country thing you start off with, or is there a riff that you get in your head and then you just expand from there? Like, do you have a go-to that you go to get creative?
Usually just picking up an instrument, like anything, you know. I try to have, now my thing is having like one of everything. I've got a little cello. I got an accordion given to me from a friend of mine, and I got this weird little like violin thing from China that my buddy dropped off one day, and I try writing on like all kinds of different instruments just to get myself out of my box. 'Cause
so cool.
the other thing about like playing guitar for so long and kind of leaning in that direction is you get, the more proficient you get, the more you start searching. And a lot of the beauty in music that is really understandable is in the basics of it. And
100%.
So if you're
simplest forms.
yeah. And so if I sit down and play piano, sometimes I'll just stumble, because I'm not very good at it, but I'll stumble onto something that's really beautiful and understandable because I'm taking it slow and I'm picking my notes and trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas with guitar, I'll sit down and be like, it's like jazz.
Yeah.
I don't know who likes jazz. No, I'm just kidding. I love jazz too.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I just like to, it's sometimes, but then I follow that muse too.
Do you know who mastered that?
Who's that?
The Irish.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you, they could fucking sing Happy Birthday and it would be a hit. Just the way they, like, that little drum thing they got. How do you not tap your foot to that?
I got one of those, actually.
No, you don't.
Yeah, the Bodrin drum.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And
with the little stick. The stick is like miniature hockey stick, whatever, like a straw. Yeah. It's you have one. Are you learning how to play that? Like,
yeah, I'm no good at it.
But who cares a shit?
Yeah.
You know, where I lived in Ontario, we had a lot of Newfies, and I played in this Newfie ball team. It's called the Newfie League. And we'd have the kitchen parties.
Sweet.
And it didn't matter. Like, the Newfies aren't ones to go to pubs and bars and stuff. It's more having a house party, but it always ends up in the kitchen. And there's always, and I mean always, people with instruments. It could be just spoons.
Yeah.
A pot with hitting. It doesn't matter. They can, and the Newfies and the Irish are kind of quite similar. But it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're hammered. Just to pick up and sing and do whatever. It's the most creativity. Like, do you ever get in a zone where you're just so creative and you just don't want to stop?
Oh, yeah. That's the other hard thing. Once you decide to, like, okay, I'm going to try and make money and a living at this.
Yeah.
Is that zone comes less because you're stopping yourself every time you get to that zone because that's when you're playing your best.
Oh.
And then you're interrupting it and being like, oh, wait, I got to get that. That was a good thing. And then that's a trap. Yeah, I'm finally, like, trying to break out of that.
Expand on that.
Well, because you're, like, you get to a real state of, like, almost like meditative creativity where you're not thinking anymore. You're just doing it, and you're, like, just feeling the joy of it or the sadness or whatever it is, whatever the emotion it's bringing up, and you're lost in it. And that's the best. That's what we're all aiming for. And that's what you want the people to feel when they come to your shows.
Of course.
They're just lost in it. And
of course.
That's the kind of tricky place to get to because it can only go there naturally. And
do you have people that interfere, like promote, like you got to do this, or is there people in the? I don't know, man. I don't know the industry, but I'm thinking there's got to be some fucking guy out there going, nope, stick to the rules. Like, this is what we got to do to make money and sell out.
Oh fuck yeah! But at the same, like, okay, I could point at my manager like that, but at the same time, he also directs me in many great ways.
Yeah.
And like, I'm learning how to. That's another learning curve, is like learning how to work with those people who are, okay, you want to make money at this? I see you as a product and I can help you do that, but I have my input too. And that's a massive learning curve. And then having
to allow somebody to have that.
Yeah. And then, like, you got to play ball a bit. And so there's another interruption on your getting to the best place ever with music and not interrupting it, Like,
wow. So is that what people mean by and they say to other artists, stick to the traditional, don't be a sellout? Is that the people that are coming up with songs, or a manager says, we got this bubble gum, you sing this because it's going to be a hit? Like, is that what that means? Kind of like
it can very much be that, for sure.
Where you do it for the money, not necessarily for the art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that seeps in your brain because, like, there's not a whole.
I wasn't
lot
talking
of
about
money
you specifically, but just the industry as a whole, like those terms. Like, is that what that means?
I guess so.
I don't know, man.
It means different things to different people, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
you probably have.
You
fans
get told
anyways.
by the nicest people, like, it just takes one song and be yourself. But everybody's hoping for you to get that hit. And then you get told by other people, like, just fucking sell out, man. Just get the hit.
No.
Do that. And you're like, yeah, sure, but what is that hit? Every song I write, I'm like, this is the best song I ever wrote. Well,
yeah.
Apparently not.
Well, you've got a few hits, though.
Kind of, but not worldwide or anything like the hit that people are talking about is like the one that you retire from. You make one hit, and then you're like, who was that artist again?
Right,
I love that song.
Yeah, exactly. You hear it at a hockey game.
Yeah, totally. I would love to be a one-hit wonder. I would be stoked. Trust me.
Hey, you'd never leave Macho's and just stick right there.
I'd just be strolling around in a kimono and underpants everywhere.
Every day. Yeah. What's in my garden, man?
Gold.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'd be cool with that for sure.
No kidding, eh? But you must. Would you, though?
Well, I'd
like,
still keep on trying.
You'd
though.
still want it. Like, you're not. Yeah, you would. You're going to want to play. Like, that buzz you get when you are, say, at Rock the Shores, or like when, I know it's local, I get that, but not everybody, there's a ton of people on your page and your social media all over Canada, right?
Yeah.
That think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. That your music's out there.
Yeah, it's getting further now,
right?
Sure. Yeah.
So how hard is it to say, okay, I've had this hit and this hit. Like I said, every song you write and you perform, you think that's the best one. Yeah. What do you think that is? What do you think that next level looks like? Is it in your head? Is it a jam? Is it it seems like
like the song?
Yeah. What do you think that is?
I don't know, honestly. I'm the worst judge of that on it. Yeah, but I tell you, when I do find something that all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I'm naturally doing this. This sounds kind of commercial.
That's what I'm getting.
I could nudge it over that direction, and then that, I mean, like, don't go over like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Don't have the massive guitar solo that goes like 20 bars. Take that out, Add some,
okay.
Or just like, make it so it's a little package of like awesomeness.
Yes.
That you still feel represents you whole. So you're not selling out.
No.
You're not creating some bullshit. You're like, this is a hit song. You're like, no, I love this song, and I've pushed it to the direction of like, this could fit on the radio and have a chance.
100%.
As best as I can give it,
And I think you're on the right track, Jesse, and I'll tell you why. You're picking up you're picking up other instruments, and you're including that in your repertoire.
Yeah.
And it won't be long before they're on some album somewhere.
Oh, they're coming out now.
That's what I mean, buddy. Yeah. So it's nothing you thought about years ago.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's coming up now, and again, COVID, that break gave you a chance to reflect and stuff, right? I don't know. I'm just saying. I bet you before long, when you incorporate these different things, it's going to take you to another level.
I think you're right. I totally agree, and that's why I'm doing it, because I feel like it just keeps on keeps on expanding for me, and then I'm not getting bored, because boredom is what kills this for me.
Yeah, that's what weed's for.
True.
Can't be bored when you're high.
That's been another thing COVID's done to me.
Oh, fuck. What's in the garden, man? What do you think's in the fucking garden?
I don't film that.
I know. No, exactly.
Some great shit, man.
Exactly, right? So, yeah, I've always found... We've had some really amazing artists come out of Canada.
Yeah.
And then amazing, but it doesn't seem to go into the States. But like, what does it mean to, like, is it the States that you have to break through, or is it Britain?
Either or.
Yeah.
I think anywhere other than Canada's a tough one. And touring has always been such a big deal with promoting artists, and in America you can just go drive 45 minutes, you get in the next big place, and have an audience. For Canada, you can drive in like 8 hours and 40 minutes to get to the next big place once you get out, right? So,
in Ontario, it takes you 3 days
Canada's
to get out of Ontario.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like,
sucks.
I just drove 8 hours, and guess where I'm at? I'm in fucking Ontario still.
Yeah. At the gas station, it's minus 40 and my hand is stuck to the gas pump. We're all drawing straws.
Exactly. I've always wondered, there's so much influence that's out there.
Yeah.
But I don't like all music. But when I hear it, right away, I'm like, what? I'm like, the Scooby? Snack? Huh? And I remember Nirvana did that to me.
Yeah, right.
And when I was in a strip bar. And in Guelph, I was. And the dancers, she's dancing to, I don't even know what song it was. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
You're like, this plus this is
awesome. Equal. Well, it was, but I never heard the song before. And I'm like, who is this? Yeah. Audio Slave was another one.
I loved Audio Slave.
And I'm like, who in the hell are these people?
Yeah.
But I could listen to 100 songs, and it does really nothing for me.
Yeah, me too.
Right? Yeah. But when you hear it, you hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And there's not a lot of hits out there per se, but if you had to have an influence, who do you think and what genre would be your biggest influences?
Well,
just that you like personally, not that you mimic your style around it, but just who you listen to the most. Like what kind of genre, what kind of thing?
well, growing up, it was like AC/DC,
Yeah, for sure.
Jimi Hendrix, and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
With like Frank Zappa and some Grateful Dead, all mixed in there. Those would be probably the top for me. Oh, you ever heard the Small Faces?
No.
They're amazing, and they have an album called Ogden's Nut Gone Flake, and it's like a story.
No way.
And every song is a story, and then they have this crazy storyteller come on, and he'll be like, "Fell off, and then the fly took a fly buzzard off, and then they." I can't even do it. It's insane. And it's my favorite album ever.
Wicked.
By far. It's
wow.
Fucking rad. And then they sing about the fly. Okay, so this guy, he's trying to find the meaning of life in the universe. And then so he's like a magic person, but he hears about this guy named Happiness Sam who lives on top of a hill somewhere. Yeah. And so he sits down on his journey to meet Happiness Sam, and this fly flies down beside him and asks for a bite of his sandwich. And the guy is like, sure, if you can tell me how to find Happiness Sam. And the fly is like, sure, if you can change all flies into one fly, we will fly you to Happiness Sam.
Nice.
And it goes from there, and it's the best.
That's kind of like the Wildwood Flower. Like, have you ever heard that? I think it's the Stones. It's this little story about the Wildwood Flower.
Cool.
And he's how did he get up there? Well, he flew up there. How did we get him down? Fly up and get him.
Yeah. I love that kind of stuff.
Me too, right?
It's just like out of the box creativity.
Yeah.
You don't hear it in like hit music because it's just, it takes a little bit more thinking or so. I don't know.
But I kind of like I bounce around, like depending on the mood, or if I smoke a joint or whatever, I'll be like, I want to hear Elvis tonight. Totally. I want to hear Sinatra tonight. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. Like to me, it's mood based on whatever your feeling is. Yeah. Right? So like if you're just sitting at home and you're doing whatever, do you ever put on like big band music or stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
You got it, right?
For sure, man. Yeah. Nat King Cole is one of my go-tos these days.
Aretha Franklin.
She's one of the best. I think she's some of the finest vocals that ever touched the earth.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I love her. And I remember watching her in an interview. She had just done some performance. She was getting pretty old now, and there was all these great performers
at the Kennedy Center.
I think you're right.
Yeah, at Kennedy Center.
And they were like, Aretha, what was your favorite performance tonight? We have all these great performers, and you're, being one of the best, but who did you like the best? She's like, me. Oh, well, me. You gotta love you. She loves doing it, obviously.
And she killed it.
She did. It was so good.
I watched that. That was the Kennedy Center. They also had the girls from Heart. And they did Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. And the boys from Led Zeppelin were crying.
Oh, they killed that.
Yeah, and I think Bonham's kid was drumming, actually.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. So it's that kind of, that emotion, that just goes to show you that it might not be your song. You might have wrote that. But it just seems to me that if you're at the top of your crowd, or just you can take somebody's song and it's the emotion that you sing it in, then the original people that did it, and they show you how much they appreciate it, that's got to be better than a hit, I would think.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool, right?
Oh yeah.
The other thing that I love about music is when you find out that it wasn't the person who actually wrote it or performed it first.
Oh, yeah, right.
And this person went on to write 40 songs that I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
But how important was that guy in the music industry to have all these hits that people got the notoriety from?
Yeah.
That just blows me away, right?
Like Willie Dixon. You ever listen to Willie Dixon? He's an old blues guy, but he did lots of songs that Zeppelin covered.
No way.
Yeah, big lawsuit there. He's awesome.
Do you work with other artists to say, listen, I think this is more up your way? Does Colin James ever say to you, hey, Jesse, I got this one. I think it would be right up your alley?
No, I'm not there yet.
No?
But that's my dream in all of this is, obviously I want to make a living and a career, but I want to play with like the best musicians ever and experience that, because what would be better? It's like
no kidding,
playing hockey with the best hockey players or something.
Exactly.
You know,
Like, I get it.
I want
right?
to be at that level where they're like phoning Jesse Roper to get ideas. I would be stoked.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? But no, I haven't got any calls from Colin James. There's some local artists and stuff. And there's actually a local, I just wrote a song. It's been on the back burner for like 7 years. And I finally was like, oh, I think I got it. And that was yesterday. So I'm going to give him a call because he's got this great country voice. He's a young guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he'd kill it.
Nice.
So I want to put my version out there, and then I want him to cover it and make me a whole bunch of money. 'Cause it'll probably be a hit if he sings it.
No, really, eh?
It's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think, anyways.
I can't wait to hear it. So what's the? It's got to be tough to break into the industry that you're in, right? Is
It's
it
not easy.
No, I get. But is it competitive? Do you get? Is there jealousy from other artists? Do they?
Man,
No,
jealousy
tell me
is
about
just,
it.
like brutal in the world in general, and it's the worst
Yeah, I
emotion
know,
you
yeah.
can harbor. But yeah, and I'll be the first to admit, like before I got playing music and getting like the squeeze of the lemon out of life, I sat and watched TV and was jealous of every person who I saw succeeding in that way. And I always was like, I can do better than this. And then finally I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm sitting here watching these people being jealous, claiming I can do better, and I'm not doing shit. It's time for me to do better for myself. And then as soon as I did that, I just felt better about life.
Really? Good for you.
Yeah. But yeah, there's jealousy out there. But you gotta
So the thing is that if it came too early, would you appreciate it?
I don't.
I
I
get
you'd
it.
have a great time, but I think where also the one-hit wonder comes from is because then you get those heaps of adoration and jealousy and
100%.
hatred, because there's lots of people out there trashing you as soon as you're,
Sure you are.
kind of
100%.
yeah. And that's
But
hard to deal
imagine
with.
living like that, going, I gotta beat that. Like, how am I gonna come up with a better song than "Come On, Eileen"? Like, well, how is this gonna happen? And they never do.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, it must be tough for them to live and go, well, yeah, look at the bank account and all, but I want to be an artist.
I know. Well, and everybody comes down the back of the hill too. So you write your hit, you go play arenas or whatever, yeah. Top, and then you slowly be sliding back down to casinos and then clubs.
Yeah,
you know?
That's got to be a hit to the ego, right?
That would be tough. And I tell you, I've sort of experienced that in one of the Rock the Shores down here. I played for like 7,500 people. It was awesome. The next day we had to be in Kamloops, and I played for like 7 people.
Oh,
and it was just like, I know I shouldn't care about this. I know I don't have a very big group of fans
but
out
it
here,
does hurt.
Oh, you're like, yesterday was so awesome.
Okay, well, I'm going to make your day, because I'm going to tell you something even worse than that. This was years ago that I can't remember the kid's name. He did some music promoting, and Matt, I can't remember. This is years ago. Anyways, ISN, my Island Sports News, we have a bunch of photographers.
Yeah.
Best on the island, I think. But anyways, and they asked me if I could supply them a photographer for Joe Walsh and Kim Mitchell. They're playing in Esquimalt behind the arena. I'm like, yeah, sure. And he goes, if you want to come out, we'll give you a pass too. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, no problem. Yeah. Well, they were late, and it was raining, I believe. And Kim Mitchell, who I'd seen years ago with Max Webster at Canada's Wonderland. He came to high schools, and so he started off here, but they made it big, and then Kim Mitchell kind of made it big, and I'm just like, oh fuck, Kim Mitchell's in Esquimalt, like, oh Jesus, whatever. But as they were running late, Joe Walsh must have told the Kim Mitchell group, hey, you're not doing your full set. And I seen Kim, I was right up because I had this pass, this VIP thing, and my photographer was on stage. And he's like, what do you call him? A self-entitled? He can only play 2 songs or something like that, and had to get off.
Tough one.
So there's Kim Mitchell getting the boot out of Esquimalt. So how did you feel now about your Rock the Shore story?
You know what? I hope Joel Walsh tells me to cut it with 2 songs.
Well, no,
actually, I got a story like that. I was at Sunfest, and I was supposed to open up for Keith Urban, and Keith Urban right before I went on stage, his guy came up and he's like, Jesse, I'm sorry, but Keith has asked that, and pretty much this means he's told,
done.
that you keep your set to under 15 minutes. I was supposed to have an hour. I'm like, what? And like, you can't shoot the messenger, right?
No, exactly.
What? And he's like, yes, and because he wants to play his canned music off his iPhone to get the crowd in the right headspace for his show, and he's asked that you only play 15 minutes. And a big part of me wanted to be like, you fucking tell Keith Urban to shove this guitar. But
he's not even from here, Keith. Like, back to Australia, you prick.
But, we went up on stage and crushed it. It was like 100% effort. The whole band, gave her. And there was already thousands of people there waiting for Keith to get to.
Yeah. They're there for him.
And so it was like one of my most memorable 15 minutes on stage. So it turned out to be a good thing, anyways. But
did his group get a hold of you to book the gig, or is that your manager?
No, that was manager. It was actually the Sunfest folks who put all that together.
Is that how that works?
Adams and those guys.
Okay.
And then they kind of contact my guys and say, "Hey, can Jesse play this?"
So how does Urban have the right to say? You do this. Is that not? Well, I don't know.
Urban. Tell who's that before me? No, tell him not to play.
Wow.
And when you're that popular,
I get it.
Who's gonna say no to Keith Urban?
No, I get it. Yeah. What's he done lately, anyways? Isn't he married to what's her face?
Yeah.
So
he did good.
He did. We'll give you that one. Yeah, and I bet you that's lasting fucking 15 minutes too.
You know what I also remember about that too? Keith, they blocked off. There was another Keith Urban request. I watched his show and it was better than I expected.
Is he good?
He's really good. He's fantastic. He's a great guitar player, excellent at everything. It was an awesome show. So props to Keith, kind of. But
let's rip
then
him.
he was done, and they had their buses block the road so nobody could leave ahead of them because they didn't want to get stuck in the traffic going down the island, then to the airport or whatever.
Where did he think he is?
I know, right? So they blocked this place off for 45 minutes while everybody's trying to get out of there. People going mental, including my drummer, who's one of the most outspoken, loud humans in the world.
I love your drummer already.
Oh, he's a beaut. So he and my other buddy Mike are driving down the highway, and they sped past everybody to catch up beside the bus with Keith in it.
and then slowed down?
They slowed down, and Steve leaned out the window, gave him the double middle finger.
Nice.
He's like, fuck you, Keith.
That's perfect, eh? That's awesome.
I hope Keith saw him anyway.
Yeah, he's probably in the back of the bus.
Chuckling away.
Exactly, right? Do you know what? The other thing I get when you're so underrated but popular. Now, when Glenn Campbell died and John Denver, they're people that were in the industry said Glenn Campbell has got to be one of the most underrated guitar players ever.
Right.
But you would never know that in the industry. You just wouldn't know that. It's like, holy shit. He's good, but when you get to some point where, have you ever heard somebody go, "Whew, geez, that Jesse Roper on the guitar, we'd love, that's some good guitar playing."
Yeah, I mean, especially back in the day when I was putting out very guitar-driven music, folks were like, "Yeah, your guitar, that's the best," and that's kind of that was my lead foot.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of I watched this Netflix thing, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically a consortium of musicians who you would never know sat in on these very well-known songs.
Oh, you like the Wrecking Crew and stuff like that, eh?
Is that what it was called? There's just they're at the top of their game. Yeah. This guitarist is the best, but nobody knows who they are, and they're never on the album. They don't get no credits. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're just this group that plays, and you have to have them. All these guys are saying, "No, I'm going to hire this group."
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they get picked up into a band?
Geez, I don't really know.
Do you know what I mean, though?
I would assume that they toured somewhere. Some of these guys don't even want to be in bands.
That's my point. That's what I'm. They love to play, but they don't want the hassle of the travel and the playing the same songs over and over. And is that kind of the thing?
Well, yeah, and some people, like I think myself before I got on stage would have loved that kind of lifestyle, because then you get to be part of it, and the being in the studio is rad. Like, and when it's
is it good?
Oh man, when it's clicking, it's amazing. And then you get to listen back. Like, can you imagine if Mozart got to just press play on his shit all the time? Like,
Yeah. Wow.
He would have been. He would have made way more music, I bet. But
Mozart would have had a garden.
oh yeah, for sure.
Mozart would have had a garden.
Oh,
That's the name of a song. Your next song. We got to write this. Mozart's Garden.
I'll give it a go.
I'll
See
give
if I
it a
can
go.
Shake it out of my brain somewhere.
Mozart's Garden. With the Irish drum.
Yeah. He'd be cursing me from above.
That's all right, though.
Well, yeah, like I could see that would be a very cool lifestyle. You get a sore back after a while, but I mean, I love. There's no greater rush than being in front of the people, because, like you're saying, like all them focused on you. If you can get everybody collectively on the same vibration, I don't know if there's a bigger rush to be had.
I'm gonna say, just jamming with your buddies.
Well, that can be incredible too, right?
Like, is that
because
just
then you're it's the same like human creation in the moment thing.
not even thinking? You're just jamming, and one guy's better than this and that, but you include them. It's
But everybody's having fun. Yeah,
everyone.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't have that jam killer there.
That one, the drummer goes fucking nuts or something. You're like,
that's
not really,
the
buddy.
worst.
Beat
Yeah,
it.
like,
Yeah.
come on, play ball.
I'll tell you this story. One of my Newfie kitchen parties. I was the only one there that didn't play an instrument, and I don't even know what time. Like I said, we would go from house to house, and then there's one guy playing the spoons, and there's another guy with a guitar, another guy's got a fiddle, and the other guy's got a pot and a pan. The other one's just beating the kitchen table, and I'm sitting there just I got nothing, and there was this house had this cat, and it's just jumping up on me, and hammered as I was, I thought, oh, okay.
You squeeze the cat, make it meow or something?
No, I put the tail in my mouth, right? and I grabbed the paw. Like, I love animals. And anybody that knows me knows I love, and I'm a cat guy.
Yeah.
But in the spur of the moment, and I just blew on the tail and kind of give it a squeeze. It was like bagpipes or something.
Yeah, right.
Only to find out that this is some prize-winning cat. and the Newfies for the guy's house around, he goes, fuck's sake, Scotty boy, you better get the fuck out of here before the missus kills you. Take your head off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got kicked out, actually.
Yeah.
Never playing the bagpipes with a cat. Whatever. But, again, you're sitting around. I'm not musically inclined at all. Zero. But when you're around like people that just like music and you're having fun, and it's hard to be upset and depressed and anxiety when you're playing music.
Oh yeah.
Right?
No, it takes you away. It's like
It's
a good
gone.
movie or whatever. You're just part. You're part of that.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Do you ever get lost when you're playing that you actually don't even see the crowd, or like you're just so?
Oh yeah. Those are the moments I'm aiming for every time I get to play.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Like you're just oblivious to all of them.
Yeah, I don't want to know I'm there even.
Wow.
But that's hard to get to. You
That-
got to be comfortable and confident and well practiced.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
just a lot of things have to align. I find the easiest way to get there is in the creation of whatever. So if I'm improvising up there on the stage, that's when I'll get there quickest.
Okay.
And that's then tricky because then your guys got to, or whoever you're playing with has got to be really
Into it too?
listening and paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay. And into it too, for sure. And but that can, man, I've had some crazy experiences. I remember we played the Queens one night, and I just couldn't help myself all night. I was just like, my brain was just firing, and I just started improvising all over the place with all these different tunes and making them longer and shorter, and then like taking breaks in the breakdown and just like telling a story or whatever. And I don't know if I've more. I don't know if I've played too many more shows where I've been like more gone in the music than that night.
It's called, my coach used to say it's mooshin. Ever heard that term?
Mooshin.
Mooshin.
Oh, okay.
It's of no mind.
Oh, yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, you are, you don't hear you see people's lips move and stuff like or whatever, but you're just gone.
Yeah.
Mooshing of no mind.
Yeah.
You know, there's another thing I want to ask you about is I was told this years ago where I lived in Ontario, the local band, there was Helix.
Oh, cool.
Fritz and the boys. And they were doing a show at I can't remember where it was, but the girl that was running she was kind of their manager or something like that. She goes, what you'll find is when they first come on, they're not like warmed up, like really, but you'll see it. It's noticeable. They all just click. Because if one guy's not doing this and the other guy's already there or get close, he said, but when they all gel, look out. And she said that, I'm like, holy shit, okay, I'm going to watch it. And it was noticeable.
Cool.
It like, how hard is it to get your whole band to like just sync up? Like, is it 3 songs, 2 songs right away? Like, you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I'd say.
Do you ever?
It's 3 songs, but I think that also comes with practicing lots together. I can get it with my band, but it's tricky. We like because everybody's got like the hardest part is tempo, you know, and like I got a bad habit of picking my tempo up. So when I jam with my drummer, it's perfect because his tempo picks up too.
He's the wild one.
Yeah, like we both pick up along the same line, so it sounds like we're right in with each other. But when we play with the whole band, now we got a couple other guys who are a little more steady, and so we got to rope ourselves in and slow it.
Wait for them.
Relax a little bit, you know.
Do you know that right away? Can you feel that? Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what keeps you from getting to the mindlessness point. It'll still sound really good, but it's just not synced up, and that's something I think you have to practice doing and get comfortable when you're playing with other people.
So there's so many things that just like you just don't get up there and just give her and like, you know what I mean?
I mean, you can, but there's like you want to make a recipe for success, you got to practice it.
Yeah. But just again, just something else that most people wouldn't know, that this is what it takes, and you can practice all day long. Right, but when you're doing a show, when it's for real and it's game time, it's like all these things have to hit.
Oh, for sure.
Right,
and then you got to practice doing it on your own, so you're just like ultimately confident and not like if you're worried about getting it done, you probably won't. You know, you got to be like, I'm gonna crush this and get to that place.
That's wicked, dude. So what do you got going on now? Like, can you let our listeners kind of know what's new songs you got? I know you mentioned kind of one, but
I got so many. I've written.
You went on when we talked a couple weeks ago. You go, Scott, I'm in a space right now. I'm writing I'm going nuts.
Well, and I've been trying to dial in my like practice habits over the past 2 years of like and quit fooling myself of being like, I'm doing this. Like wake up, have my coffee, get some exercise, wake up like more, and then just sit down and play always because consistency is key, and you got to kind of practice practicing, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense totally. Yeah. You got to be in that frame of mind that this is it. Like,
and not getting discouraged is a big because I write a good. This is maybe for my whole entire life. I write something killer that I'm like, wow, like listen to this, and then I immediately after that I'm like, that's the best. That's the pinnacle. I've sucked now, and I never will get to that point again. And it's like this terrible habit that I have. It's like I this killer doubt. And so I'm practicing not listening to that side. Just like if I can, I record like thousands of ideas. I got like 4,000 or so voice memos on my phone, and then all these other ones on like garage bands and stuff. And if I can't get in, because every day I play something new. And it's just how I've always done it. And I go off in a different direction and tangent and try and just go with it. And if I'm not getting what I want, I usually feel like, I suck.
Yeah.
So then instead of saying that to myself, now I'm trying to be like, okay, well, let's go check out some of that 4,000 other ideas I have. And then almost immediately I'll find something that I'm like, I forgot about this.
100%.
Yeah. And then I got to work on those. And if I don't get it, I don't tell myself I suck. I'd go to another one. And
absolutely.
I actually, when I talked to you, I was on a roll every day.
Yeah, you were.
I wrote a new song like 5 days in a row, 5 new songs, or at least ideas that were like getting there, you know? was crushing it, and I knew the ebb was gonna come, and then it hit me, and it was like stone dead stop, and I couldn't come up with anything, and so I put my newfound logic into play and just started going back to my
in the
old
library.
ones. Well, here I am 2 days after that. I got a new song and like 4 more ideas I came up with like yesterday.
Dude, that's wicked.
Yeah, so I just got to practice better and more consistently.
And trusting what you did before. I'll tell you this, and this is kind of on the lines of with my photographers. I'll tell them they take 4,000 shots of a Grizzly game or a Rebel game. Like, you know, boys, 20 will suffice. Thanks. Fuck. But they'll, you know, but for whatever reason, that photo's not good enough. That photo's not good enough. I don't know how many times every year this happens where the photo they hate the most is the one that sells. Every fucking time.
That's why you need outside input.
They won't listen to me.
It's hard.
They won't. No, that's an ugly photo. I don't like this. But honestly, it's not. I get it, but it's what the people want.
It kind of is.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
You know, I was telling this to an artist the other day. Because he was talking with songwriting and hits and how to get out there and that. And I was like, okay, man, they're all poker chips at the table. You just make a lot of them because ultimately you don't dictate what's going to be popular. And the people will listen to it and say, good job, like great song or whatever, and then never listen to it again.
Yeah.
Or they will have to have it in their life.
100%.
And you don't dictate any
You don't know, right? What you like and what you're going. It's really, and honestly, man, I think you're really onto something with including more instruments into your passion and stuff like that. I think you'll find some, maybe not today, but it'll be in that library of 4,000 where you're going to you just don't know, right?
Well, I'll tell you this one, I got a cello recently, and I've been loving playing the cello. It's so cool. And I've got this like really pretty finger picking tune that's kind of about life and creation and all this. It's different for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm not good enough to record with the cello, but I got it out, and just for like these parts where the finger picking is getting more intense, I pick the right note and I just go
like a chainsaw.
And it just gives it this thing, you know.
Yeah,
there's the cello making its way in.
Oh, there it is. No kidding, eh?
That's how I do. I start simple.
And that's the beauty of when you realize, like, just simplify it. Don't like, you know, and that comes again with what I do. If I try to think that I'm fucking TSN or I'm this guy, I'm done. It's just
true.
It's raw.
Of these other things.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can take some inspiration from it,
for sure.
like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But the minute I think I'm this, that, or I'm going to use this, forget it. I'm done. It's just it's me, and that's that, and the way it is. So that's, I think, you know, a lot of the things what people. You know, it's easy. This is what drives me nuts about people that are creative, is that when people say something about someone's art that they you know what I mean? It's like, why don't you do something, bud? Like, totally. You know, fuck off. Like, what are you like? Why are you like, really?
Yeah.
Because you know that's why. Just move on.
I know, man.
Or don't say nothing. Or close the laptop. Or put your phone down. I don't get it. Like,
you're just filling yourself with poison.
But those affect me.
Yeah, they affect everybody.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like how I want to respond.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is like, okay, well, I'm about 8 beers now. I probably shouldn't. So, you know what I mean? So it's time for a joint. Because, you know, high Scott's different than drunk Scott. Right?
Oh, say it with
right?
Jesse.
So, so Machosen.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What's your go-to at the cafe?
Oh.
Mine's Salisbury steak.
I'm going to be Workman burger, half fries, half salad. Blue cheese dressing.
Don't they have the best food there?
I love it.
Fuck's sakes. Mine's Salisbury steak, those onions, that gravy. I could just like give it to me intravenously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I hear you, man.
I just love it. And I'm told that pizza place is not too shabby.
You haven't had the pizza?
I have not.
Some would argue it's even better than upstairs. It's equally on par. It's great.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I got to tell you, coming from Toronto,
Yeah.
I'm not slamming other. I haven't had a good pie here, and I've got here in 98.
Oh.
I haven't had. There's been okay, whatever, but I've never really had good Chinese food,
Yeah.
and I've never really had a good pizza.
I don't know if you can match big city culinary experience, you know.
But I'm told this pizza at my chosen cafe.
I think it's amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try it.
Get the Angry Wrangler.
Is that the pizza?
That's my favorite pizza there. It's amazing.
I'm gonna do that.
Angry Wrangler.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, Jess, I can't even begin. It's been an honor having you on the show, dude, and just shooting the shit and having whatever, having some laughs, and it's been an absolute blast for me. So this the last word goes to you. You can talk about anything you want. Any of the shows, where we can, new albums, who do we follow, whatever. You can talk about the Leafs. I know you're a Leaf fan.
I'm a big Leaf fan.
You are a big Leaf fan. Do you take flack for that at all?
Oh, shit, yeah. But I don't care.
No, I stir the pot on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I stir the pot, yeah.
That's the whole sports thing, right?
I remember Joe Perkins from when he was with CTV. He called me in on this to do a show when the Leafs a couple of years ago were the only Canadian team. And he's like, come on in and do this show with me. It's 15 minutes. And, about why we should be cheer for the Leafs. They're the only Canadian team left.
Yeah.
And I go, well, you better put me on like a 3-second delay or an 8-second delay for one, right? And fucking, I didn't even get across the street on Broad Street, and I had my Leaf shirt on, so fuck you, like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing a show here, so, and I'm like to Joe Farag, I go, listen, buddy, I don't want you to be a Leaf fan. We don't want you.
Okay.
We don't cheer for us, right? Don't. We don't want that. So anyways, we had a good chuckle about that. But all right, Jesse Roper, the last word goes to you. What do you got to say?
What do I got to say? I don't know. Be nice to each other out there, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of unnecessary knee-jerk reaction commenting going on there. And it's not breeding a good society. So be nice to each other.
You heard it here. Be nice to each other. I have to play this closing song, which is our opening song. I love it.
Please do.
That much.
I enjoyed hearing it.
So, you ready for this one?
All right.
This is Scott Harrigan. We're going to close the show. Jesse, I got to thank you again, buddy. It's been awesome. And for those of you who don't know, Jesse was kind enough to write this for us, and this is we've played this since day one, and we'll continue to play it and always play it. And here it is. Yeah, buddy. Do you remember doing this?
Doesn't sound bad.
So, you know what that needs?
Drums.
Cello. Thanks, Jesse.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.